Okay, imagine this. It's 1876 and you live in a small farmhouse in rural Kentucky. You're outside enjoying some fresh air and making homemade soap when suddenly something heavy falls from the sky. It wasn't a meteor or hail, but it looked straight out of the famous horror movie It's Raining Meatballs. Okay, that was a joke. Let's backtrack a bit. That is not a horror movie, but you got the gist of it. In 1876, something weird took place in Kentucky. It happened in the house of Mary Crouch and her husband. She was outside making soap on a clear spring day when out of nowhere it literally started raining meat. They weren't the delicious IKEA meatballs or the ones from the movie, but a much less tasty version, or at least that's what it looked like. In fact, there's even a piece that's been preserved all this time. Look, Mary was the first to see it, and initially she interpreted it as a sign from God. What it was about, I imagine not even she could really figure out. She thought it was a sign of things to come. But hey, in the meantime, free meat certainly can be bad, right? Well, she was with her grandson at the time, clearly very confused, and asked him what was falling from the sky. He looked up and said, "Grandma, it's snowing." He was probably really happy about it until he went to make his snow angel and saw that he was surrounded by meat. To this day, we're still not sure what happened. Like sure, we've got some plausible theories, but you'll find out why nobody's certain in a minute. There were many weird theories at the time though. Some people even rumored that this was all a plot made by Mary Crouch to scare her husband into selling their house, though she denied it to a local newspaper from the time. Either way, tons of people from around the country got involved into this investigation. Initially, some very brave taste testers tried the meats and said that it was definitely either deer or sheep meat. A New York Times article from the time even states that when they first fell down, the meats looked really fresh. Other people with a better sense of hygiene sent samples to a lab where Leopold Brandeis, a scientist, concluded that the pieces of meat he was given could not be meat. He said it was actually nostoc, a kind of bacteria that, when wet, forms a gelatinous casing, and the one found in the farmhouse was a specific kind that developed a red color. Pretty promising, right? It could have been a satisfying conclusion, but problem is, the sky that day was completely clear, with no sign of rain. Leopold's theory was soon debunked, but he still helped in the investigation. He gave some samples to friends and colleagues of his, who later all agreed that the pieces of meat were actually animal meat. Some of the pieces collected were as big as Mrs. Crouch's hand. Some came from livers, others from muscle, and some were just cartilage, but they all came from animals. Now knowing that, how and why did it suddenly rain meat then? Well, I can't tell you that it wasn't aliens or some sort of divine barbecue leftovers that the gods threw down for us, but the true reason is still a mystery. The leading theory for the last 100 years, which will probably stay as that since no meteorologist is studying meat rain, is that vultures vomited the meats. Literally, vultures ate meat off of animals they found who were either feeling threatened or too heavy to fly and spat it out over their farm. I bet that wasn't a fun discovery for the two mystery meat taste testers. Okay, you might be thinking, that sounds like a good enough explanation, right? Well, there's only one problem. Mary Crouch did not see anything flying over her when the meat started falling. Maybe the vultures were flying too high, or maybe she had some sort of vision problem, or maybe it was something else entirely. Either way, this story will probably never find its true ending. If you think that this video was fun and interesting to watch, consider subscribing to my channel and liking the video. It takes a long time to research, record, and edit all this for YouTube, and it really helps if you show your support. If you like the story, you can even share it with a friend. Thank you and see you in the next video. Bye bye!